everybody. It's Safi and Marco dish out on the movies. And today we are reviewing Fear Factor, House of Fear, Episode 5, The Deep. Now, we are midway through the season, and that will be talked about later. And the title of the episode refers to their first challenge, which is a group challenge. And would you like to say anything now, Marco?
I don't know. That was my impression of Safi. So anyways, this episode was interesting because it was basically another Zach episode, and I really think that Zach is going to win the season because this is typically what the editors do, is that they focus on the winner. They focus on them a lot because it makes it for like a more cinematic type of watch through. You're seeing the one person, go through all these challenges throughout the whole season, and it culminates with them winning. I will say that it's kind of like a guilty pleasure type of show because I dislike basically everyone that's there except for Zach and maybe like one or two other people. It's so unpleasant with them. Like the first challenge, it was less about that because it was a scary challenge and it was like, we just got to get through this. When we get to that challenge, I'll tell you guys what my strategy would have been. And you guys will be like, ha ha, that's why you're not on Fear Factor. And it's like, yeah, I didn't sign up for Fear Factor, so I don't care. And then the second part of the episode, though, that's where things were kind of like, ugh. But then at the end, it was kind of, it was like a really satisfying conclusion. But overall, I guess I liked the episode. Didn't like it as much as last week, but still I don't know. It's whatever, because it's a guilty pleasure. So, Safi?
Okay, well, I did want to bring it up about, we talked about this boy, I'll say his name later, but I name him Machiavelli, because he studied him and he thinks that helps you in politics, which is a bunch of BS.
And he also thinks that politics helps you with Fear Factor, which that's like the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
Well, they show a little bit, they come back from that other challenge and, where Dito almost lost, and then that would have been his closest ally, and oh my God, that would have been terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he says, and his closest ally is Dito, and he says, we don't want to go into any other end game because that could be the end of our road. And I'm like, what the hell? Does he seriously think that he and or Dita is not going to be in danger of being eliminated, that they can prevent that? Really? I just thought that was ignorant and really full of it. He's full of it, or no, I should say he and many of the rest of them are delusional about their power or ability to not be in a challenge that's going to eliminate them from the game. So I just freaked me out when he said that. It's just like, what?
To me, I think let's just bring it back to like a more like let's just explain it in like a very beginner's type of way. If you're playing a board game like Monopoly, you don't have the option to not go a turn. You have to go a turn. You have to roll the dice and go around the board, and if you get bankrupt, then you have to not play the game anymore and you're out. But for some reason, in this reality show competition, these people, besides Zach and I guess maybe like one other person, they all think that for some reason they should be allowed to skip a turn. they should be allowed to skip a turn on the Monopoly board, and that's just not how it works. And in fact, this is different because in this it's like, okay, well, you might not have to go, but if you get picked, you're gonna have to go. But like when you're playing Monopoly or any other board game or any other game, like let's say you're playing a video game. What if you're playing Fallout? Safi's got to finish Fallout New Vegas. Let's say that you are on a mission and you have to go into a cave and defeat a bad guy. You don't have the option to say, I'm not going to go in the cave, because that would just mean, oh, I guess you're not going to play the game then. So that's what's really frustrating. Part of what's frustrating about this show is that you have all these people who just flat out think that they don't have to play the game. Just really weird.
I just don't get it. Okay, so anyway, we'll go to the first challenge then, which refers to the title of the episode, The Deep. The Deep, which I think that might be the name of a movie.
Yeah, I think that's why they called it that. Because there is a movie called The Deep.
Because I've seen it.
I think it's James Cameron made it.
I don't know. But anyway, it refers to the ocean, because guess what they were doing right before the challenge? Looking at the orcas, which are killer whales, out in the water, playing around, jumping around, swimming. And then they have to go into the, quote, the deep for their first challenge. Everybody, no exceptions. And what it is, they're going to be 2 teams of 5, which is nice. It all worked out. And they're like a rack. It's a rack with 5 spaces on it, and they're strapped to it, and they're all wearing like probably special suits to help them with, because the water is very cold, and even with these suits, they could get hypothermia. So what they're going to do is they're strapped to this rack. They dip them into the water like dunk. They dunk them, meaning they're under the water, and they're doing it, first they'll do it for 30 seconds. Then they bring them back up. Then they'll do it. The next one is, what is it? I have it written down.
You don't know the next interval after 30?
Oh, well, no, they don't do it like
Jesus
you said.
Christ.
They get 40, but then they go to 60. They went from 40 to 60. So anyway, I guess they didn't think that they would make it to 60. But they have to hold their breath, and they're cold because the water's very cold. I don't know if they said what the temperature of the water is.
They did. It was 40 degrees.
And they have to worry about the killer whales swimming around the water. Now, I think that part of it, the killer whales, that was kind of a red herring, because they didn't bother them at all.
Well, I would say that I like the challenge, actually. It's one of the best challenges so far in the season.
It was a very scary challenge.
At the same time, I think that it was a little flawed because the host, he's probably given like a script of what to say. Maybe he forgot, but he didn't mention until like the second or third person quit. He didn't mention that, oh yeah, there's a safety diver out there in case anything goes wrong. I would have liked to have known too, like what would they have done if like the whales came to bother them? Like, like it would have just been more interesting and kind of a better picture that was painted, because at first it was like, oh, there's no safety diver. That's hard to believe. Oh, okay, there is, and stuff like that. I think that...
Yeah, he might have forgotten.
But it was a really good challenge, I think. It was at least the first half. Because in the first half, it was genuinely all about who's going to win. Who's going to quit. Is Safi going to quit?
Okay, well, let's talk about how they can quit. There's a feature on it that you can let yourself get off of it. So, and when you do, then you swim to the shore or whatever, the dock, whatever it is. They don't really show that part.
They didn't show that?
No.
Yeah, they did.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see them swimming to the shore?
I saw them swimming, but I didn't see where they...
They go right to where Johnny is, and then they showed them
okay.
sitting next to Johnny.
Well,
see, Safi watched this yesterday.
Jesus Christ.
You did. You watched it yesterday.
So, then, another thing is, when the team is doing it, the other team is hidden away, and they can't hear or see what's going on. So, that's interesting, because they don't know how well they have to do. And by what I mean by that is, when they get down to 3 people, then they're done. They're out. In other words, if 2 people get off of there and they get down to 3, they're done with the challenge. I hope I got that right, because it's kind of confusing, but I think because what it ended up, the first team actually, well, I wrote it down here. But let's see what the teams are. One team is Lance, Rob, Blake, Chelsea, and Jaylene. Jaylene is the pretty girl. And then Chelsea is the blonde. And Rob's the pretty boy. Blake's the gay guy. I hate to...
God, Safi!
I hate it. Well, but he hasn't made any secret of it, and he doesn't care. And Lance, I think, he's the flight attendant, I believe. Team 2 is Dita, Damien, Ethan, Danielle, and Zach. Okay? And Ethan, I think, is the Machiavelli guy. Okay. Because he and Dito, are on the same team. So the first team to go is going to be the Lance, Rob, Blake, Chelsea team. So the other team hides away, and then they bring out, before they get into the challenge, secretly, that Danielle, the pretty, Jaylene, the pretty girl, almost drowned. When she was a kid, she got caught in a riptide, and if her family member had not been there to rescue her, she would have been taken away. The riptide would have taken her away, and she would have died.
Oh no, not that one random Fear Factor contestant.
Then, she has significant PTSD, but she's not saying a word. She's scared. You can see it on her face. She's really scared, but nobody says anything, because they don't know about her previous spirit. Then the other team, Danielle, she's the scientist. She grew up in Kingston, Jamaica, and they were having a hurricane. It was starting, and she started being carried out to sea because the sea started, rising up and getting violent, and her family member rescued her. So she has a legitimate fear too. So here you have 2 people. They don't say a word, not a word. They're just like, have a scared look on their faces. But, none of the other ones, they just think, well, they're all kind of nervous about the challenge, because they have to hold their breath and they're cold. And then the other thing, I don't think they're even worried about those orcas. So anyway, then Damien, she's the most vocal, and she has to go on and on.
I'm gonna do an impression of her,
but don't do it yet, because they're not first, right? Okay. They're second.
No, yeah, they're second.
So they're hidden away. Dita, Damien, Ethan, they're hidden away. So we have Lance, etc. And I think they got to 60 seconds.
No, they didn't. They got to like 90 40 seconds or longer.
Okay, well, anyway, Jaylene, that's the pretty girl. Actually, she did pretty good. She went out first. She was so cold. They put blankets around her, and they were rubbing her arms. She was legitimately extremely cold. And then the second one was Blake, and then Chelsea, the blonde, was third. So that was it. They're out. Now we get to the second team. And who starts? Who gets out first? Oh, 30 seconds in.
Oh,
Damien.
You're jumping to that now?
Yeah.
See, this is what Safi's reviews always entail, is like this obsession over like minute, like what do you call it, like minuscule, like just the details of things when she's not really actually reviewing the show. So I will say I'm going to start reviewing the show now. So in the first part of the challenge, I thought that was really good because it was genuinely like interesting to watch, to see who was going to get out and who was going to survive. Like, is anyone going to pass out or something? Because it's a scary challenge. Like, if you just take one drink of water, it's like, okay, you're out probably. You're going to have to let yourself go.
I think Blake said he did swallow water.
Oh,
when
yeah.
He got out.
Yeah, that's why I said that. And because, so then Blake is the last one, I think, or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The specifics don't matter. Okay, whatever. So the first half, I really liked. And I also thought they went on a lot longer. Like, I will say, I think that it was kind of extreme. Like, I was wondering, like, how much time did the producers plan? Like, what was the maximum time? What if by some miracle, both teams survived past the amounts of time? Would they just increase it? Like, what would they do? Because you'd have to think that they would have some sort of, like, a medical consultation of, like, okay, how long can we legally waterboard these people?
And that's what one of them said. They were being waterboarded.
Oh, yeah. And so then in the second half, you have Damien, and this was the funniest part because, you know, Damien is one of the contestants that thinks that she doesn't have to do anything. And, you know, she's like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. That's what she literally did. That is my impression of her. And
Before
it is
even getting in the water.
just standing there, just standing on the platform thing. And then she gets lowered and she's like, oh my God, oh my God. And it's like, guys, shut the hell up. Like, seriously, like, that's just, like, why are you on Fear Factor? Like, it had to have been some kind of, like, a bet. Like, one of her friends is like, bitch, I bet you could get on Fear Factor. She's like, oh my God, maybe I can. I'm gonna try. And she's on there and she's like, oh my God, I'm scared of flight. Oh my God, I'm scared of bugs. Oh my God, I'm scared of cats. Like, she's just scared of everything. And, like, yeah, she's basically there as a personality contestant. But again, this is not about personality. This is about competing, and that'll come up later. So anyways, she's the first person who gets out. I think she lasted through the first 30 seconds.
It was 30 seconds.
And that's it. And then soon after, another person...
Well, we have to talk about what was going on through Zach's mind the entire time. Go ahead.
Well, Zach had a strategy that he could throw this challenge, and then automatically the pretty boys, the two bullies, could get put up in the end game possibly. They would be vulnerable. That was his strategy and his logic. And to be fair, it was a great strategy, but he had to wait for another person or two to go. And only then could he...
It was Dita.
Yeah.
Dita was the next Dito.
Yeah. Dada was the next one. You thought, oh, he's so athletic. No. Well, he could not make it through this one. And then finally, I think Zach was the next one.
Yeah, he was the last one.
And that was funny because it was like he obviously threw it. And I just think I didn't like the second half of the challenge, though, because that's what it was focused on. It would have been more interesting. See, this is what I hate about this show, is that it's not about the actual challenges. It's not about people doing good or bad in the challenges. It's become all about politics and about people, you know, being...
Popularity.
Like popularity, mean girls, mean guys, cliques, high school.
It's like Survivor.
It's like high school.
And Big Brother.
Or elementary school. And so it's just too bad that Zach was in the position to where he had to think about, well, I'm going to have to throw this because only then can we finally make the game more fair and get rid of one of these jocks, one of these dumb jocks. And so we'll see how that strategy pays off. Well, so their team lost, obviously. And
right.
Then
they announced that after they were done.
Then we go back to the house, and first I'd like to talk about the bizarro romance between the pretty boy and the pretty girl. And we see that, and she's like, it's such a weird, again, it's like they're trying to force Big Brother elements onto the show. She's like, we can't do it unless we go on a date first, or even kiss or anything. And he's like, oh, you gotta go on a date, huh? Oh, you gotta go on a date. And so then he takes her upstairs. You can tell the guy is like one of those, like, you know, like a playboy, because he's like, oh, look, I made us a date. And it's just a bottle of wine and 2 glasses. And so basically his plan is like, he wanted to get her drunk, and because he's like a playboy, and so then finally she lets him kiss her, and it's like, God, this is so cringe. Like, you should have left this shit off the show, because it is so like just not anything that anyone is interested in, you know, like, right, Safi? Like, what do you think about that?
No,
what did you think? Was that a date?
Oh, God. Anyway, so during this time, you know, what will happen is the winners will pick one person to go to the end game, and I guess then that person will pick 2 others, right? No, 3 others. And, that's not going to be the case. They're all in for a very rude surprise. Because even Zach, he threw the challenge because he was thinking that's how it was going to end up. So what happens, Marco?
I guess
after Damien showed Blake how to wiggle their butts.
Oh yeah, Safi wanted to mention that.
I almost threw up. I mean, I can't stand that bullshit.
Cringeworthy, gross. Can't stand that type of shit. And of course, it has to be on Fear Factor now. It's like, it's like a bunch of like old boomers sat in a room together. They're like, okay, how can we modernize Fear Factor? How can we sell Fear Factor to the modern audience? Well, let's get someone in there who knows how to twerk, and then they can teach a gay guy how to twerk, and that will appeal to the modern audiences.
I don't know, but it's queer.
It's so gay, and it's just so not good for Fear Factor. Why would they have that on the show? Again, that could have happened, but like, why are you showing that? Like, why are you making that part of the show as if we're going to enjoy that or we're going to like either of those 2 people more? Because all it did was just make me like both of them less. So the twist was, the person who gets put up only can pick one other person. It's a one-on-one challenge.
And there's no more. It's just 2 people. That's it.
And so they want to pick Zach because, and this is what's hilarious, this is like a social experiment. Their strategy is that they will pick Zach and only Zach, because then that will guarantee he won't pick a woman to be in the end game with him.
Which I don't get that, because right at the beginning he said it's on there. He wanted to get rid of all the women because he thought they'd be weaker.
They are weaker.
Well, yeah, that's true, but I mean, he said that.
They're objectively weaker.
And he might have said that in front of other people. I'm not sure. But he did say that.
He said, first my plan was to get rid of all the women, but now my plan is to get rid of those 2 guys, you know, the 2 jocks.
And he said that several times.
He said that on the show.
Right.
But it's so queer. It's like, these people, I mean, this is like real life. This is like what happens real life with these white knights and these simps is that you're saying that the most important thing on this show, this is about one person winning and getting $200,000.
No, there's not going to be a first, second, and third place.
This is not about protecting women. This is not some feminazi bullshit game where it's like, it's like they are treating this show and this game like the main objective is to protect women. That shows you exactly what is wrong with society. That shows you exactly what has turned wrong about society, because the number one thing that should be in all of these people's minds is themselves winning. It shouldn't be about
this game.
We got to protect women, because
they have to compete too.
Because they're treating women like they're the weakest, most handicapped losers. Like, so you're saying, women can't compete on the show? Why are they on there then? Why are they on there if they can't go 1v1? Why can't they do it?
But the thing is, though, it's just like this very first challenge. It was very, very, I would call it heavy duty. It doesn't matter if you were a woman or a man.
Yeah.
You still have to compete. They all had to compete. They weren't exempt from competing, no matter who they were, how young they were, how pretty they were. It didn't matter.
But they're legitimately acting like women should not have to compete on the show.
Where are they coming up with this BS?
This is like real life. They are simps. And this is where I think it's hilarious, because they totally had the wrong idea. If you wanted a guy who would not pick women, they should have picked Dada. Safi, be quiet. They should have picked Dada or the dumb jock with the broccoli hair. They should have picked either of those two guys, because you know what those guys would have done? They both would have picked Zach. Both of them. You know why? Because both of those guys have no balls. And both of them are simps. And they would do anything to protect women. Because they're not about winning the show. They're about playing this weird high school fantasy game where it's like, we're all white knights and we got to protect women, instead of, competing, which is what the show is about. And so if they wanted to protect women, all they had to have done was just pick one of those two guys. But no, they picked Zach. They picked Zach, who he'll screw up anyone, and he had limited options, and we'll get to that part because first something else happens. But what do you think about Zach, that, Safi?
Though it was brought out, I don't know if it was brought out in the previous episode or this one. He's a minor.
Oh, that was brought out in this episode, Safi.
And a minor goes into confined spaces. They're by themselves. They are with groups of people, but they're working solo at what they're doing. I think a lot of the times, I could be wrong, maybe mining's changed. He still has to go beneath the earth in a confined space. So these things that he's having to face, it kind of slides on to what his work is. And so he's a lot stronger. That's why he's been able to get through some of this stuff, because he works in a very stressful job. I mean, you can have a mining explosion today. They underestimate. I mean, but they don't know this. Oh, well, no, they do. He did tell somebody else. Maybe more than one person heard him say that.
He talked in the whole kitchen about being a miner.
Yeah, and they're not thinking.
But all they're thinking about is protecting the women. That's all they're thinking about. It is so fucking gay. And what it really reminds me of, and this is why I chose, for Safi, for the picture for the video, I chose a picture of Biff and all his bully friends from Back to the Future. Because that's what it's like. It's like all these people are bullies who just want Zach to, Zach who's like the victim, they want Zach to do whatever they want. It's like when Biff goes up to George McFly and he's like, "Hello, George McFly, you got my homework yet, you piece of shit? Got my fucking homework done? got my report done and my essay done. That's what it's like. That's what it's like with these contestants. They're basically bullying Zach, singling Zach out because he's actually there to compete. He's not there to cut off his balls and protect women. Like, that's that's the show. That's not what the show's about. It's a Fear Factor show. It's a competition show. The women can go fuck themselves.
Okay.
And the guys can go fuck themselves too. It's not about gender. But they made it about gender. That's what the whole thing was this episode. So it was really kind of negative. It was like they were choosing Zach because they were trying to force him to do what they wanted him to do. That's not how life works. Well, at least especially on this show. It's a competition show. So then Johnny comes over with beer. There's like a Fear Factor beer. I don't know if Safi saw that. The beer said fear on it.
Oh.
Maybe they'll release that and it'll be like Fear Factor beer, as if any of these contestants is like man enough to drink beer, except for Zach. Like these are a bunch of soy people. Like they sit around drinking rose wine and boxed wine and shit and fucking Manhattan drinks and shit. So he comes in and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm the host, but I'm also just like you people. So let's have a party." And
yes, but he was there because...
No, Safi, we're not getting to that yet. And so at first, I was really happy because I had complained earlier in the season. I said it feels like there's a separation between the host and the contestants that you would only see in this modern day type of show. This is not what the old Fear Factor show was about. Joe Rogan was a great host. He was the best host of all time. And he was very personal with the contestants. But I thought, oh, maybe I'm wrong. Because they brought on Johnny. And he partied with them a little tiny bit. And it was so sad because Zach was so upset. And he was so, nervous that he didn't even feel like partying with Johnny. And then Johnny never came up to him or anything. And so, again, it was like one of those, high school movies where, the victim of the bullies is at the cool kids party and nobody wants to talk to him, and then surprise, surprise, Johnny was not there to party with them and to hang out with them. They wouldn't let him do that. He was there so that he could pretend like he was partying with them, and then he could take them to the elimination challenge. And I thought, honestly, that has been one of the worst things they've done on the show, because that was so shitty. They couldn't have just let them party, the night is over, and then he comes back to take them. No. He had to say, "Oh, you guys thought I was here to party with you? I don't think so." I'm taking you to the end game, pieces of shit. That was horrible. What did you think of that, Safi?
It was sad. They could have waited till the next day.
I know. I thought that was shitty.
But he was there. He announced that it was halfway through the competition. He was there to bring beer, but there was food out in the back. So they're all having a good time, and then he drops the boom on them.
And I want to make a quick comparison, which is Hell's Kitchen. You have the contestants who win a challenge, and they might get to have dinner with Gordon Ramsay. And then guess what? They get to have dinner with him, a day or so passes, and then they go to the service. They do the service. Gordon doesn't go in the dorms, and he's like, "Hey guys, I'm here to party." And then he's like, "Just kidding. Actually, you gotta go do something now." And it's like, oh, that's shitty. That's really shitty. Musafi? Hello?
Okay, well, I didn't know if he wanted me to say anything.
Anybody home?
So then he says, okay, well, this is going to be... Did he announce that it was going to be the 50-50 thing?
No, he announced that. I already did that.
Okay. So they pick Zach, and then Zach has to figure out who to pick, because he can only pick one person and go up against that person. So
who are his options, Safi?
anybody.
No,
Well,
that's
anybody
a lie.
Anybody on the losing team, which would have been
That's Damien.
Damien, Dido,
the two jocks.
Ethan, who's Machiavelli, Danielle, and of course there's him. So he has Dita, Damien, Ethan, and Danielle.
And Danielle is the girl that he's actually, we didn't mention that, but he's kind of started to become a little bit of a friend to her because
she's the scientist.
She seems a lot nicer than the other girls, and so this is where it gets interesting because you have 4 choices. And the challenge itself, you're in a straitjacket in this locked container, this glass cage, like you're Hannibal.
With limited air.
The late great Hannibal Lecter. And you're in a straitjacket.
It's like a phone booth.
And and you also have a blindfold on. You have to get out of the straitjacket, get out of the blindfold, and then you got to choose from 40 keys to unlock a lock and press a button.
You.
And so that's an athletic type of challenge. So he has 4 options. One of them is Danielle, who he's not going to pick because he's become friends with her and she's been nice to him. And then you have the 2 dumb jocks, and it would be really stupid for him to pick them because as one of them, the Machiavelli guy, he's so retarded that he actually says, Zach, please don't pick me because I would beat you. Like, that was so dumb of him to say.
Smart.
He
says
is
the
so
smartest thing's not.
So dumb. Because that awoke Zach, and it made him woke, and it made him wake up, and he's like, oh, wait a second. This is an athletic challenge. I should pick the person who is the most equal to me, because then that will make it the fairest chance for me, who has a 50-50 chance to stay here and to not go home. So he picks Damien, and immediately she's like, oh my God! And
I don't like enclosed spaces.
Zach, please don't put me in the challenge. I'm really scared of tight spaces. And it's like, she's scared of everything, so, which Safi said earlier. And so he chose her. Everyone acted like he committed a sin. They acted like he was in the Epstein files.
I know,
and it's like,
couldn't believe it.
It was so cringeworthy. It's like, why would he not pick her? Even Johnny Knoxville was acting like he did something horribly wrong. It's like, is she not there to compete? And like, if he picked any of the 2 guys, he would have gotten sent home. If he picked Danielle, it would have been a tighter chance, but she might have stayed because she was, she's more fit than Zach. So the most fair thing for him to do was to pick Damien because she was the closest to him. And nobody thought about that. All they thought about was Zach picked a woman, so Zach is an evil woman hater or something. It's so bad. It's so cringeworthy. It's enough to make you want to throw up. It's so horrible. It was like the bullies. Oh, look, the bullies are unhappy they didn't get what they want from their victim. Safi?
Okay, well, do you want to start talking about the challenge then?
Well, I already did.
So they're in the challenge.
What the fuck?
It seems like Zach did pretty well getting out, but she did too. But she only got part way out. You have to take off the jacket in order to complete the keys. I mean, you can have the jacket on, and if you can move around. They both took their blindfolds off. He took his off. That's the first thing he took off, which I thought was smart.
Yeah, and you're misrepresenting. It's really hilarious because the first thing Zach does is take his blindfold off.
So you can see what he's doing.
But Damien, she did not take her blindfold off until
right off the bat. No, she didn't.
She waited like an entire minute or 2, and people were telling her, take your blindfold off, and she couldn't even do that. Like, it's like, what the hell? Like, see, the jokes write themselves, And then she got to her lock first, and she opened up the lock, And this was the funniest part because she should have won. But somehow she defied anything. In reality, she defied everything and anything. She could not get out of the cage, even though she got the lock off the cage. So Zach got it off, and he went out there and he beat her to the button.
But it was by seconds. It was very close.
That was so funny. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was so meme worthy, and it was so funny all by itself. Like, this is like a social experiment. Like, one person, he's going to take the blindfold off because that's the first thing you can do. And she can't get out of the cage with the lock off of it. Safi?
Well, so anyway,
You alive?
when he's out, he got out first. They're all in shock, and they're mad at him.
Yeah, like he's done something horribly wrong.
And the guy who oversees the competition, he was practically crying.
He was crying
because he really liked her, I guess, and so I think they were just really in shock. I don't know why. He won. I don't know why. I mean, it was close.
They acted like he basically had to throw the competition to lose because they didn't like him. That's what it was like. Because if he picked one of those two athletic guys, he would have immediately gone home. They would have done it in like 2 seconds. So basically, they were mad he didn't just go home, just voluntarily go home on a reality competition show. Yeah, I can't stand these people.
Yeah, it just drives me crazy.
And what happened next, Safi, that was just even worse?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what he said, but they told him to shut up. He wasn't allowed to say anything.
Zach tried to compliment her, and he tried to be the bigger man and say, you beat me. Well, you beat me, because she did. She basically did beat him very close because
she didn't get out though.
She didn't get out
before him.
And then the stupid gay guy. What's his name?
Blake.
That's the other gay guy. The good gay guy.
Oh, him.
The stupid flight attendant guy.
The flight attendant.
He's the worst person on the show. He said, "Shut up, Zach. It's not about you." And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, this is what happens when like you compete in a game, and then you win or lose a game. Like, you shake hands with the person who lost. Like. Maybe if the flight attendant was like a normal person and he played like sports or something, he would know that like after, like let's say like a baseball game, you line up both teams and they all shake each other's hands and go home. That's what normal grown-up people do. But these are fucking soy retard people, and they are exactly what's wrong with society. So they acted like he was being selfish because he was complimenting her because she lost, but she won over him basically. She almost won. He complimented her, and instead they are so biased against him, and they hate him so much that they wouldn't even let him just give her a compliment and just say, "You did a good job." They wouldn't even let him do that. It's like, these people are, I can't stand them. If anyone but Zach wins this season, then it is a horrible season, because he is the only person who deserves to win.
So anyway, at the end, that flight attendant says the revenge, it will be for Damien.
Oh, yeah.
God, please.
That worked out so well with the last woman who got sent home, the Tyler. Remember, they got really mad and they said that
she's the mom.
Yeah, she's the mom is gone, so we're going to have to take revenge on Blake.
Although there's other moms in the competition. Chelsea is a mom.
That didn't work out very well, though.
Yeah.
So that really, really was just so awful to watch, and just acting like what is this show? It's a competition. Excuse me. Sorry, I just had breakfast. So.
Oh, anyway,
that was funny.
I'll give it a B. That first competition for all of them, no matter what they'd been through as children, which I told you there were two, and they did pretty well. Even though they had been in this, both had a PTSD experience, but it was a hard challenge for all of them, and because the holding your breath, is something else, and actually the girl who what's her name? Is it Danielle? Who is the scientist? She's married, I believe, and her husband had actually told her to practice holding her breath because he thought that might be in one of the challenges. And she said she wasn't very good at it at all. She just couldn't do it. And she thought about why would you be holding your breath? And but they did pretty well. And so I think it was a very worthwhile challenge. I think that, like I said, the orca thing was a red herring, so to speak, because it didn't matter. The whole being very cold. I never heard what the temperature of the water was, but it must have been significant because the people who were in the longest, which was that pretty girl, and they didn't even show the rest, but they came up, and for her, she was shivering. She couldn't stop shaking, and they covered her up, and they were rubbing her arms, and she was she was at risk of getting hypothermia. They all were, but she had been in it. That first team, they did a lot better at holding their breath and being under there for a long time, because he was kind of like, I think Johnny was like, wow, they're really. I don't think I could hold my breath for 60 seconds or what, he just couldn't believe how well they were doing. So I give it a B, but I don't like this personal stuff. I just really don't.
Yeah.
It is a competition, and I guess maybe before, now I didn't watch a lot of the episodes, even though they didn't have this house thing and alliances, like barf, okay? It was still, maybe it was just too impersonal, but I think I'd rather...
It was not impersonal at all.
Well, at least they could...
It was actually a lot more personal because it wasn't bullying like this.
Oh.
Like all the contestants... all the contestants were friends.
They all respected each other.
Joe Rogan was very nice to them. They all have fun together. For the most part, I didn't watch all the seasons.
You just don't. You didn't have all this alliances and
but
crap like that.
This new show, it's like a high school mean girl bully shit again, like on Hell's Kitchen, and so for that reason, I'll give the episode a D+ because, I just can't stand that stuff, and I couldn't stand at the end, like they basically acted like Zach had to do what they wanted him to do, or else he's like a horrible person or something. And it's like...
And she was mad that she had to go home. You could tell she wasn't very gracious. She had a bad face.
She didn't even say goodbye to Zach. It's like, what a bitch. Good riddance.
No, she did say something to him.
She did?
Yeah, I don't know what she said, though. I couldn't understand it.
Well, I just thought it was such a weird thing. It was such a weird moment, because, they were basically asking Zach to send himself home. And something else I enjoyed, though, was the fact that earlier in the episode, Zach clarified the comment that he made in episode 2, where he said, when I go back to the house, I'm going to be like a tornado. And, we were wondering, what did he mean by that? Is he threatening them that he's gonna destroy the house or beat them up or something? No, he did not mean that. He meant that he was gonna throw up the competition, cause trouble, cause chaos in the competition, and that's what he said after he threw the water thing. He said, "I told you guys I was gonna be like a tornado and stir up the competition."
But he went back and forth on it, because he didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
And so he had the ability to stay even though it was a hard thing to do, holding your breath and being cold. Like I said, I think his mining experience helps him with this kind of, with all of it, basically. Because it's a hard job. Very difficult job.
And I forgot to say,
Dangerous.
my strategy would have been, I would have just gone home, just gone out right away, because then the team.
That's what I thought he was going to do.
Then
actually.
the team wouldn't have to worry about how long I would last, because I couldn't imagine doing that. Wouldn't be fun at all. So I would have just left immediately, you know. Like, and it would have just been like a strategy, like, okay, now you don't have to worry about me lasting for like 90 seconds underwater. Like, ugh, no thanks.
It's a long time. And he's not athletic in certain ways. He probably couldn't have done it. I don't think. So, anyway. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and become one of our subscribers and a member of our Patreon.
Yeah.
Which will give you access to a lot of extras.
Exclusive content, exclusive reviews, full spoiler movie reviews.
Marco's first movie short.
A short film.
That's in color and black and white.
Not a feature film. And, yeah.
That's it. So goodbye, everybody.
Bye.